Okay, so basically with the loops that we're going to be doing in this class, and loops are a way of cycling through information. There's two types of loops that we'll be using, and one is a while loop, and the other one is a for loop. So you see here that I have a while loop defined right in this section, right? Basically here. A while loop is used if you don't know ahead of time how many times the user is going to want to go through. So for example, in this case, the user is going to enter Q to quit. And so I don't know how many integers they're going to want to enter. It might be 3, it might be 0, it might be 15. But you'll notice that the first thing I do right here before I even go into the loop is I get information from the user. I ask them to enter an integer or Q to quit. This line right here, what I'm doing is whatever they entered, I'm just picking off that first character and I'm checking to make sure I'm going to use that to check to make sure it's not a letter. If they entered a letter, I'm going to assume that that letter is Q. And so I'm going to pick that first character off. If it's a negative or if it's a number, then I know I'm in business. I'm going to enter the while loop and I'm going to parse because I can. I know it's a number, and so I'm going to parse it. And then I'm going to increment sum. So notice how I start out with sum equaling 0, and then I'm going to add to that 0 whatever number they entered. And then I also have a string up here called result, which is a blank string right now. That's going to hold all of my numbers, so I put in my number and a space next to it. And then if I want to count how many numbers they're entering, I'm going to use that as index. Then I'm going to count how many numbers they're entering just by plus plus because it starts at 0. So I'm just increment by 1 every time. And then I ask them yet again, so this code and this code are exactly the same, to enter their new integer, and I pluck off that first character. Now, this little brace right here ends my while loop. So, or it doesn't end the while loop, but it's where the loop restarts again. So it's going to go back up here. It's going to check to see if that new thing entered is a letter. If it is a letter, it's going to bounce out. If it's not a letter, it'll go through. Now it keeps cycling through until they enter any letter. It could be a P, it could be a Q. The minute they enter a letter, it kicks out and it prints out this J option pane, which is going to give them the information that they entered and the sum. Okay, now on to the other type of loop. So the other type of loop that we are working with in this program is a for loop, which is quite different. And if you watch the next video, you can hear all about for loops.